If the entire northern part of Belgium can come together and agree on a French product, I mean, just take a look at all the retailers and shops selling it, then it's got to be something truly remarkable and special. Hey, I'm Tillman from the Radelbande, and this is the O2Feel Equo. Over the next few weeks, our family will have the chance to test it out and share our experiences with you. First off, a transparency note. We borrowed this bike from O2Feel, and they are financially supporting the production of this video. They didn't tell us what to say in any way. All thoughts and opinions about this bike are entirely our own, and they won't get to see the video before it's released either. Before you even get to see it, we're completely unbiased toward any brand. Now let's dive right in and begin. O2Feel is actually relatively unknown in Germany. Yet, the bike manufacturer from Lille in northern France has been on the market since 2009 and is particularly popular in France and, surprisingly, also in Belgium. Only recently have they managed to successfully expand beyond the French and Belgian borders into Germany. O2Feel boasts a truly wide-ranging portfolio of diverse e-bikes in their lineup. They have e-mountain bikes, they have regular trekking bikes, e-SUVs, and now they've even introduced some exciting new additions. This Cargobike here, and there are a few key features that make O2Feel truly unique, setting them distinctly apart from almost every other bike manufacturer out there. But let's take a look at that outside. First off, this is a frame design we've been seeing more and more lately, a longtail designed with a mullet configuration featuring a large wheel at the front and a noticeably smaller one in the rear section. This is designed to ensure that with the small wheel at the back, a lower center of gravity is maintained, while the larger wheel in the front makes it easier to roll over obstacles. Up to this point, it's essentially a standard bicycle, but from here onward, it shifts into a compact longtail design. O2Feel offers the Equo in different configurations, both with a chain drive and, as in this case, with a Nexus 5e and belt drive, which is of course really great for everyday use, because it requires significantly less maintenance than a chain drive. And since they coat the frames themselves, they can get pretty creative with the colors. And this one is also quite fascinating. At first glance, it just looks white, but if you look really closely, you'll find yourself constantly wanting to wipe the dust off the frame. But that's actually part of the paintwork called White Moon. And here we've got a noticeably thick down tube that really stands out and draws attention. And inside this down tube sits this here, an 835 watt-hour battery. That's quite an impressive and remarkable piece of equipment. But hold on a second. Shimano doesn't even manufacture or offer an 835 watt-hour battery. The unique aspect here is that Shimano can also certify batteries made by third-party manufacturers, and O2Feel capitalizes on this by designing and manufacturing their own batteries housed in their own custom casings. That means they can also integrate a massive 835 watt-hour battery into their own frame and don't have to rely on using any external systems or adapting existing frame designs to fit certain batteries, giving them full control over the integration and performance. Instead, they simply take care of it themselves. And there's another unique aspect to this because by managing it entirely on their own, they naturally achieve a far greater level of control over their production processes, and as the only manufacturer, they offer a 4-year warranty on their batteries. That's genuinely impressive. Paired with this, as mentioned, is the Shimano system. First, there's a curved handlebar, a really nice trekking-style handlebar design. On the right side, you'll find the control unit for the manual Nexus 5E gear shift, and on the left side, there's the straightforward, intuitive, and user-friendly control unit of the Shimano system, designed for ease of use. Here, the 3 support levels are activated, and with this button, you can also access and view some extra information about your ride settings. Here's the battery charge level, and right here, it displays the current speed while you're on the move. The kickstand can also be easily operated, as O2Feel took it upon themselves to develop their own kickstand for their longtail cargo bike, which is generally a smart idea, because this allows the bike to be effortlessly rolled off the kickstand and rolled back onto it just as smoothly without any hassle. Very nice. That's where a good kickstand comes into play, one that's really nice and wide. When it comes to the geometry, we've got a real classic here. Since this is essentially a standard trekking bike at the front, the seating geometry is pretty normal as well, but they still manage to incorporate a short seat tube, ensuring that both smaller and taller riders can effortlessly achieve their perfect seating position. People up to around 1.90 m will sit comfortably with the standard suspension seat post. Additionally, the handlebar can be adjusted in tilt, enabling you to achieve a slightly sportier or a more upright and comfortable sitting position as needed, and the step-through is also quite low for such a large longtail. And that leads us directly to the cargo carrying capability of this cargo bike. As is typical with most longtail cargo bikes, it offers 2 loading options, with the front one being optional. Here, a generously sized front rack is mounted, providing a 30 by 40 centimeter loading platform, which makes it simple and convenient to secure bags and boxes, also supported by these sturdy braces right here. And for this, O2Feel provides additional accessories to securely fasten the load and protect it from elements like rain, for instance, ensuring everything stays safe and dry. 15 kilograms is the maximum weight capacity that this front cargo area can safely handle. Naturally, due to the large front wheel, it sits a bit higher in comparison to fully compact cargo bike models. But the distance to the handlebar also varies depending on its specific position, ranging from sufficient to actually quite spacious in most cases. The main loading area, of course, is at the back. There's also a range of accessories for it, which I'll show you a bit of in just a moment. Now, we can take a closer look at the luggage rack here, which is quite long and also fairly wide, and it's officially approved for a maximum total load capacity of up to 80 kilograms in weight. Pretty serious indeed. Down here, you'll find optional footrests specifically designed to provide extra support for panniers or to comfortably hold the feet of your children in place. And what's special here on top of the loading area is the MIK HD interface, or more specifically, the connection point. Not just one MIK HD interface, but actually 2. This way, you can effortlessly attach large baskets or even child seats directly onto the platform. Here in the middle, the space has also been utilized quite well. Further down here, you can see where the belt prohibits the bag to extend even lower. But it can be used, for example, to store a log or small snacks, making it quite practical for those little everyday items. You have to open the bag a little, and then you can reach inside. And it's actually quite spacious inside. But of course, there are also larger packing bags. Hey, buddy! This bag is quite large and has also received its own design from O2Feel. It's not just a straightforward large bag with a roll-top closure. They've actually incorporated several additional creative features into it. For instance, there are these handy straps designed to fasten or secure additional items. Plus, you've got these small, practical loops integrated for extra lighting, positioned both on the front and the back of the bag. And up front here, there are a couple of extra pockets to store small belongings, or for example, here as well, a drink. So quite a good idea, a very versatile bag. It's always a good idea to spread out the load a little so that not everything ends up rattling around in one big, bulky, and cumbersome box. Then there are these reflective elements on the side, and what's particularly striking is that this bag already has a substantial amount of stability by itself, even without anything packed inside it. It's completely empty right now and still holds its shape perfectly. And that's also pretty practical for everyday use as well. But this bag is also designed to be used open. For that, they've included a zipper stopper here, which can easily be opened on one side naturally and on the other side as well. Oh, there's still some stuff in here. Let's take that out. Then you can see this gray interior here featuring a zippered pocket along with extra compartments for small items, perfectly organized for documents or things like that. But this top can also simply be flipped inward. And then there's room for kids to simply put their legs in here. Speaking of kids, there's also plenty offered for them as well. This here is the Family Bar Plus, and what immediately catches the eye is that it's designed to be fully open at the front. That's a pretty cool idea, because this way, kids can easily climb in on their own with a significantly reduced risk that, for instance, if they had to step over here, the bike might start wobbling or even tip over unexpectedly, which is a great safety feature. Here, they can easily enter from the front, climb over to this side, and the bike remains securely in place without any issues. What's also quite impressive is that you can mount up to 10 bottle holders here, providing ample space for hydration or any other essentials you might need during your ride, which is particularly convenient for longer trips. In addition to the 2 options already available at the front, so if you've got thirsty kids, this setup is absolutely perfect for them. This bar here remains remarkably sturdy despite its open front design and structure. What's also really cool is that they've included these extra braces here to ensure the kids' hands are provided with even greater protection and safety in case of a tip over or an accident. This small bar here in the middle is optional and works both as a backrest for the child in front or a handle for the child in the back. And for the child sitting in the back, it features a really comfortable, generously sized back cushion right here, ensuring excellent support and maximum comfort for them. That's not something you always find with long-tail cargo bikes, but it's well padded and designed to be fully waterproof, so it won't soak up water, and it's really easy to wipe down and keep clean. And another cool feature of this rack. The seat pads can easily be attached with MIKHD clips and just as effortlessly removed, making this loading area incredibly versatile and quick to adapt. Can be equipped with baskets or other accessories, as these adapter plates are simply attached underneath. And yes, it's overall quite stable. Now with this bar here, a Eurobox can theoretically still fit in. Of course, you could load it upside down here. But that's why we'll now remove the bar right here in the middle and place our load inside the 2 bags and then take it out for a quick little test drive. All right, 35 to 40 kilograms in weight now, all in all with everything included, and we'll see how it performs out on the road. Now we're starting the acceleration test from 0 to 25 kilometers per hour. We're in the highest support mode. Here we are. Now in low gear. Let's see how fast we can go. And 25 kilometers per hour. That's actually remarkably good. The engine really pulls forward smoothly, and the 5-speed gear hub is doing a great job, handling the shifts with ease. You don't have to choose between too many gears. The motor also handles the relatively large gear steps quite well, compensating the gaps with torque. And now, at 25 kilometers per hour, it's noticeable, as is often the case with Shimano motors, that the transition between assistance and no longer assisting at 25 kilometers per hour isn't as smooth. So it's always a bit jerky at 25, 26 kilometers per hour, which is something many Shimano motors have. And it feels a bit unpleasant. But now, let's take a closer look and see how well this combination handles the climb up the Jerusalemsberg. Start now. Try to maintain a cadence of 80 revolutions per minute and aim to pedal at around 200 watts. So, for comparison, I can't check it right now, but let's take a look. Baseline speed here is 22 kilometers per hour. 23 kilometers per hour even. That's pretty fast. So now I need to shift down a bit. 17.7 kilometers per hour now. That's actually quite good. It's not a record-breaking number, but it's still a solid and respectable result overall, really. I was just slightly in second gear, so there's even a lower gear available just in case the terrain gets steeper ahead. The seating position isn't the most comfortable for my height or for individuals of my size, I must admit honestly. I have to reach quite far forward and down, and I also had to, in order to ride here, install a longer seat post. And now when accelerating, it's really good until it suddenly, at 25, abruptly stops assisting. Other engine manufacturers manage to handle that more effectively. When you lean into the corner a bit, you notice that the rear end tends to drag a little more, mostly because of the high load at the back end. The frame is relatively large due to this mullet design, and because of that, you can definitely feel a bit of flex in the frame, especially when you're putting it through tighter turns or more demanding maneuvers. Here, this slight incline in 4th gear at 25 kilometers per hour is absolutely no problem. What O2Feel also managed to nail really well is the tuning of the basic transmission setup. Because at 25 kilometers per hour, I essentially have 2 gears to choose from, depending on whether I prefer to pedal faster or prefer to pedal slower if you let go of the handlebars. There's no wobbling. So the frame geometry here is well executed. Okay. Now we're on the bike tour terrain. Yeah, sandy terrain, you can definitely feel that. But what's truly pleasant is how smoothly the bike handles and rolls over this kind of surface. Where did I just ride over? Doesn't matter. So how the bike goes over here is actually pretty pleasant because it rolls over very smoothly and relaxed. The suspension fork provides pretty good comfort. There's a bit more movement in the handlebar, but nothing dramatic. So here the bike can perform well even on longer rides. The brakes, as expected, are quite powerful and consistently reliable. Now let's take a closer look at how it performs when starting uphill. We've switched it back to the highest level of assistance for this test. We're in the lowest gear, and now let's see how it manages the climb up this steep hill. Okay, here the motor obviously has quite a bit of work to do, given that the lowest gear on the Nexus 5e isn't on the Super low end. The engine has to compensate for that. It responds quickly enough, but there's a brief moment of hesitation before it fully realizes, okay, power needs to be delivered here to keep things running smoothly and efficiently. But the torque at low revs can handle this scenario quite effectively. If you're dealing with a lot of steep climbs, then I could imagine that this system might start to struggle and get overwhelmed relatively quickly. The Nexus 5e has become so refined by now that gear shifts, and handling under load performs significantly better than before. And the great thing is that you can effortlessly and smoothly shift through all 5 gears with just a single hand movement, and it's also pretty efficient at the same time. Alright, getting off the bike works really smoothly with this one too. The step through isn't super high, and pushing this Cargobike is relatively easy to manage. The space behind towards the cage is large enough so you don't get caught all the time. And if you now turn off the support and just want to ride like that, then that works too. As I mentioned earlier, the first gear isn't particularly short now. Here we're riding at 10 kilometers per hour, with a cadence of around 70 revolutions per minute, which feels quite comfortable. That's fine. And what's noticeable here in such tight corners is that due to the relatively long wheelbase, the bike feels a bit more cumbersome to maneuver and handle compared to other, more compact longtails available on the market. But it's still fully maneuverable without any issues, even in tight spaces or when navigating through narrow niches with relative ease. The suspension fork operates smoothly enough, but we're about to see how it truly performs when put to the test on cobblestone streets. It's actually quite pleasant here. I've replaced the seat post with a longer unsprung one. That means I feel a bit more vibration than if I were using the original seat post. But the vibrations here at the handlebar are really well dampened. This cargo bike is actually quite comfortable to ride. The saddle itself does an excellent job of absorbing a lot of the vibrations. Honestly, I can't find anything to complain about. It's really well thought out, comfortable, and effective. Such waves and edges. That is actually quite comfortable. So the bike is definitely bike tour worthy even through a forest or rougher terrain. There's also the Adventure Edition, which adds even more versatility and durability. I can totally see that. Just the ground clearance might end up being too low. Now let's take a look at how well it brakes, accelerating to 25 kilometers per hour, and we'll brake at the second marker. Here. A braking distance of roughly 5 meters. So the brake doesn't grip in an overly aggressive way, but it does have a good pressure point. The brake levers are a bit too short for everyday use, in my opinion. So here, for a bike that's intended for everyday use, 4-finger levers would be much more practical, giving you the ability to get a solid, full-handed grip on them. Yes, and with the O2Feel Equo 7 you can cruise around quite comfortably and enjoy a really smooth ride. It's obviously not quite as nimble as a compact longtail, but it can definitely handle most day-to-day tasks, no doubt about it. And how we felt about it after a few weeks, we'll take a closer look at that now in the studio. Now we've been using the O2Feel Equo 7 for a few weeks, and overall, we've been really quite pleased with it. Still, there's naturally a bit of criticism, so we'll dive right into that. 3 points we weren't too happy about, and then we'll highlight 3 points that we really liked. Of course, you can also find a full evaluation using the Radelbande rating matrix via the link in the video description below. Let's kick off with the 3 not-so-great points, and the first one has less to do with the bike itself and more to do with the motor's overall performance. Because even in 2025, Shimano still hasn't managed to achieve a smooth transition from assistance to no assistance at all, which is quite disappointing. Around 25 kilometers per hour, there's always a noticeable jolt, and that was really annoying in everyday use. The second point is, some of the accessories still need a little more work to be truly great. This bag here in the middle, for example, when you want to put something inside, you always have to use this thing here. You have to open the slit first, so you can't just peek inside directly, and what's interesting about this bag is that it works perfectly on the left side, but if you attempt to attach it on the right side, it's a bit tricky. First of all, it doesn't work so well with this Family Carrier Plus bracket, and when you attach it in this specific spot, then the pedal here barely has enough space to move forward, which can feel quite restrictive and inconvenient. And it's really tricky to maneuver your foot around it, so the accessories clearly still need some improvement. And the third point revolves around the battery and charging. While the 4-year warranty is truly excellent and unmatched in the industry, it does come with a few drawbacks here and there. Because on one hand, you once again have a proprietary charging connector. This looks kind of like a mic connector to charge the battery directly on the bike. If you want to charge the battery at home, there's also an adapter included here. Why they didn't use the same connector for both cases, I really can't explain. But we've also found some great aspects, of course, and the first one that really impressed us is the combination of a longtail, hub gears, and a belt drive. It's just an incredibly hassle-free system for everyday use. You really have to worry very, very little about maintaining it. The key benefit of this design is that the belt doesn't need to be redirected here, which greatly enhances its durability and minimizes wear over time. A highly durable and stress-free system for everyday use. That's really rare for this type of cargo bike. The second point we really liked is that this is a bike designed to handle various tasks efficiently. It can be ridden very comfortably and relaxed on one hand, but also very sporty on the other, depending on how you adjust the settings to your preferences here. And what's really impressive is that this 830 watt-hour battery delivered a realistic everyday range of a solid 60 kilometers, even when using the most powerful mode available. So efficient, truly fast in this combination, and incredibly versatile as well, you know. And the third point, which the kids absolutely loved, is this innovative handlebar seat pad combination design. Kids can hop on really easily here, which isn't something you'd normally expect with a long-tail cargo bike design. One child can get on here at the front, the other child can also pass through here with their helmet on just fine. And then these kids can also effortlessly mount it themselves thanks to the extremely sturdy stand without needing to be lifted over the bar. And then the seat cushions are very comfortable and well padded. The distance to the footrests is quite minimal, so even slightly smaller children can easily reach them and don't necessarily have to sit in a child's seat. So we really liked that feature, especially aside from all these attachment points designed for various accessories. And that leaves just one question remaining. Who is the O2Feel Equo 7 best suited for? And it's genuinely very easy to recommend it, particularly with this unique and highly efficient combination of a belt drive and hub gear system. It's not overly expensive, which is a big plus. The rear child seat options are well designed and practical, even if there are still a few minor issues with the accessories in some areas. There's also, for example, a rain cover so you can be out and about, even in the winter without any issues. It's sufficient or more than sufficient in terms of durability. The front rack is spacious enough. It can be fast, it can be slow. Overall, I really ended up liking it quite a bit. But now the question is, what do you think of the O2Feel Equo 7? Has the brand ever crossed your path before? Have you maybe even got one of these bikes already? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to join us when the Radelbande hits the road again, that's us. Then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Bye. See you soon.